guess that's our cue. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Connecticut W-2 and 1099 webinar presented by the State of Connecticut Department of Revenue Services. My name is Richard Carter. I'm joined here live in the studio with Melissa Pescatelli. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning, Mr. Carter. How are you today?
Fantastic. It's great to have someone here with me today rather than being all alone in an empty office. Anyway, we have a lot to do on this busy day. We have 5 speakers lined up as we discuss W-2s and 1099s. But we also have a MyConnect demo, a tour of the Taxpayer Education Center, and a Q&A with the most frequently asked questions we have received about W-2s and 1099s via phone calls, emails, and MyConnect. But we'll get to all of that. But first, this. So because we are discussing W-2s and 1099s, we recommend, if you have not done so already, is downloading the Employer's Tax Guide Circular CT. Now, the Employer's Tax Guide is a great resource for Connecticut withholding. It's chock full of information such as a withholding calendar of duties, there's electronic filing info, there's how to determine how much Connecticut income tax to withhold from employees. There's also a comparison of federal and Connecticut filing rules, plus much more. It's available on our website and can be downloaded as a PDF. In order to do that, just visit our website, which is located at portal.ct.gov/DRS. Now, once you're there, along the left side panel, you're going to want to click for businesses. There we go. Thank you very much. And then from there, we'll go to publications. Thank you again. And from there, we should be able to scroll down and we will find the Circular CT Employer's Tax Guide to Withholding. Now, if that fails, you can always just shortcut it and throw it into the search bar and it should pop up for you. The other thing I want to bring to your attention, we're also going to be doing a demo of MyCT-Rec. Hello, take 2. MyConnect. What the heck is wrong with me? MyCT-Rec. Holy cow. Whew. I don't know what's going on over here. Anyway, we're going to do a demo of MyConnect, where registering, filing, and paying taxes with the state of Connecticut has never been easier. It also provides online filing reminders, and you can also view DRS correspondence, and it's mobile device friendly. It's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All right, so we're almost done with the pregame show. Let us give you some of our contact information. That way, if you have a question today, tomorrow, next week, next month, or next year, you can get a hold of us. Our phone numbers are 860-297-5962. You can also reach us at 1-800-382-9463. I always feel like a radio talk show host when I do those. We'll be taking your calls. You can also email us if you have any questions. By all means, our email address is drs@ct.gov, and let's give some love to our website, which has a lot of information out there, which we'll get to later. And that's located at portal.ct.gov/DRS. And, the one thing I forgot to mention, you can also zap us through MyConnect if you have a question. So if you are familiar with MyConnect, you can always send us a question there too. And lastly, you can also find us on Facebook, X, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. All right. Well, we got all that stuff out of the way. Let's get the show on the road. So let's introduce the Melissa Pescatelli. Melissa is the tax division chief of our Taxpayer Services Division, and she is going to share whether she realizes it or not, she is going to share a pastiche of information about the agency. Good morning, Melissa.
Well, good morning, Mr. Carter, and thank you for that warm introduction. It's a pleasure to be here with you today in our new studio going live right from 450 Columbus Boulevard this morning. Good morning, everybody, and happy holidays. I am Melissa Pescatelli, the Taxpayer Services Division Chief. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the Department of Revenue Services W-2 and 1099 filing webinar. It is intended to help you prepare for the upcoming filing season. Now, we have some knowledgeable team members with us today who will provide you with an overview of the Connecticut withholding tax filing requirements. Their presentation will let you know what's in store for the upcoming 2025 filing season. It will help you determine if you are considered an employer for Connecticut withholding tax purposes and let you know what's new for the upcoming season. We also have a live demonstration of MyConnect in store for you today, which will help you set up an account on the DRS online platform called MyConnect. It will also show you how to file withholding tax returns view a previously filed return, send DRS a secure message, and much, much more. This webinar will cover the 2025 withholding tax due dates so that you will know when to expect to file your returns and meet all of your filing and payment obligations. The department and every one of its employees are here to help you succeed in meeting your tax filing obligations. Having a good handle on your state withholding filing requirements is critical to your success as a Connecticut employer. In addition to understanding Connecticut withholding requirements, it's important that you file and communicate with the agency electronically. MyConnect, the department's modernized electronic filing platform, makes it easier than ever before for you to file returns and pay Connecticut withholding tax. It's simple to create a profile on the department's safe and secure online platform. After setting up an account, you will be able to file withholding tax returns and manage all of your state tax account matters 24/7, anytime, day or night. I encourage you to check out MyConnect and make the department's website a favorite on your device. This will make it easy for you to check back often for any tax updates and developments that may impact your filings. Beyond that, should you have any questions or issues that arise as a result of today's presentation, do not hesitate to contact us. Our team of consumer information representatives is ready to answer any questions that you may have with any of your tax filing or payment matters. These friendly and knowledgeable employees are available to assist you Monday through Friday between the hours of 8:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. They can help with any questions that you may have, such as how do I set up a profile? How do I change my demographic information? How can I view a previously filed return? How can I send a web message to DRS? And where can I find updates on the Taxpayer Education Center? You can reach our consumer information staff at 860-297-5962. You can also email your questions to drs@ct.gov. Furthermore, if you happen to need assistance with a procedural matter or navigating the various bureaus within DRS, you can reach out to our new Office of Constituent Services. The Office of Constituent Services staff will be able to direct you to the right area of the department that is assigned to your specific tax matter. Check out our new Office of Constituent Services webpage for more information. Again, thank you for attending our webinar this morning. Remember, the staff of the department stand ready to help and will be an important resource for your success. Now, Mr. Carter, it's over back to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Melissa. I told you it would be a pastiche of information. The great thing about sitting next to Melissa is her phone never stops and the emails never stop coming and they just chirp and chirp and chirp. So, all right, still to come, folks, is the MyConnect demo, a tour of the Taxpayer Education Center, and a Q&A. But let's get to the heart of the matter this morning and bring in Debbie Pavlik and Ida Thompson. And they are here to discuss the W-2s and 1099s. I believe Ida won the coin flip and elected to receive rather than defer. There she is. Good morning, Ida. Welcome. Enjoy.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Carter. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us this morning. My name is Ida Thompson. I am a revenue examiner at the Taxpayer Services Division. Today, I'll be talking about withholding information, 1099s and W-2s, which is designed to guide taxpayers, employers, and practitioners for the upcoming filing season. The webinar is not a complete analysis of the recently enacted legislation, but provides vital information related to such legislation. Please visit the DRS website regularly for updates and guidance on certain aspects of the legislation. Now, the two lowest marginal tax rates have been lowered starting 2024, which is good news for many of us taxpayers. The 3% rate is lowered to 2% on the first $10,000 earned by unmarried individuals and the first $20,000 earned by married individuals filing jointly or as a surviving spouse. The 5% rate is now 4.5% on the next $40,000 earned by unmarried individuals and the next $80,000 earned by married individuals filing jointly or as a surviving spouse. Now, these benefits will be capped for single filers who earn $150,000 and for married individuals filing jointly or as a surviving spouse who earn $300,000. This legislation also includes a recapture provision. Now, taxpayers making estimated payments can review the calculations for their payments, and others may consider filing a new CTW4 with their employers. Now, if you will be affected by these changes, you should check out the withholding tables and the withholding calculation rules. Now, before 2024, taxpayers making certain income threshold were not able to take the pension and annuity deduction. Well, this has changed. We have good news for those taxpayers. The new legislation provides for a phase out for allowable pension, annuity, and IRA distribution deduction. The legislation gradually reduces the amount until they fully phase out for taxpayers with AGI of at least $75,000, but less than $100,000, and that's for single filers, and at least $100,000, but less than $150,000 for joint filers. The modification to the IRA distribution other than Roth phases in over 4 years with a 50% subtraction modification of such distribution for taxable year 2024 and increases to 75% for taxable year 2025. Now, the withholding requirements for certain distributions have changed. Beginning 2025, mandatory withholding is no longer required, except in certain situations. However, recipients can still request the payer of such distribution to withhold Connecticut income tax in accordance with the applicable regulations. Payers of lump sum distributions of certain payments are required to withhold Connecticut income tax if the distribution is in excess of $5,000 or greater than 50% of the balance of the distribution account. Now, as a Connecticut employer who pay wages to employees, you are required to register for income tax withholding, even if no tax is required to be withheld. To register, please visit the DRS website, click the My Connect File, Pay, and Register Taxes Online link, and locate the Businesses panel, and click the New Business / Need a Connecticut Registration Number link to register. Now, once the registration is completed, your account will be open and you can begin filing and making those payments. There are special rules for payers of non-payroll amounts, which we're going to talk about later, and to professional athletes and entertainers. Now, if you're registered with DRS and issuing 1099-R, K, and W-2G forms, you can file all returns electronically through your MyConnect account. If you are not registered with DRS and issuing forms 1099 miscellaneous or NEC with the CT 1096 form, you can file through the unauthenticated link from the File 1099s panel found on MyConnect. You can file your withholding forms and make payments electronically through MyConnect. There is a 10% penalty of the tax due for filing late, plus 1% interest each month. In addition to that, you could incur a 10% penalty of the tax due for non-compliance, even if the payment and the tax was received on time. So if you know you need to file by paper, you should first request a waiver to avoid any non-compliance penalty. Now, Form CT 941, the Connecticut Quarterly Reconciliation of Withholding, is used to reconcile quarterly Connecticut income tax withholding from employee wages only. Now, the form is filed every quarter, even if no tax is due or no tax was withheld. And we can see on the slide the due dates for each of the quarters: April 30th, July 31st, October 31st, and January 31st for the fourth quarter. Now, Form CTW3, the Connecticut Annual Reconciliation of Withholding, should be filed with the state copy of Federal Form W-2, even if no Connecticut income tax was withheld, and must be filed by January 31st. If you are filing less than 24 W-2s, you have the option to paper file, although we encourage payers to electronically file. Debbie, would you like to take it over from here?
Thank you, Ida. Yes. Good morning, everyone, and welcome on this beautiful day. My name is Debbie. I am a revenue examiner at Department of Revenue Services. The first topic I'll be covering today is the non-wage, or some call it non-payroll withholding. Examples of non-wage payments are gambling winnings, pensions, annuities, IRAs, and other deferred income. Just as Ida mentioned, for the wage withholding, the same is true for non-wage withholding. They both must be filed and paid electronically. To file for non-wage withholding, use Form CT 945, which is the annual reconciliation of withholding for non-payroll amounts. This is due by January 31st. Unlike the wage withholding, which is filed quarterly, the non-wage withholding is filed only once a year, annually. If you're registered for non-wage withholding, you are required to file the CT 945, even if no tax is due, or you're not required to file the federal form 945. You still must file the Connecticut CT 945. Remember, as mentioned earlier, as of January 2025, you are no longer required to withhold Connecticut income tax from certain retirement income distributions, although it is still required to withhold income tax from lump sum distributions. Okay, some of you may be thinking of becoming a household employer, or some may say, what is a household employer? This is someone that hires a person like a nanny, a chef, a driver, or a house cleaner. Household employers are not required to withhold Connecticut income taxes from their employees' wages, but may do so voluntarily. If you choose to withhold Connecticut taxes, you must register with the Department of Revenue Services for withholding by going through My Connect on the DRS website. Remember, before registering, it must be a mutual agreement to withhold. Household employers use Form CT-W3-HHE, which you probably figured out. The HHE stands for Household Employer. This is an annual reconciliation, so it's completed once a year for withholding and is due by January 31st. All household employers, whether registered or not, must file federal form W-2 with the Connecticut form CT-W3-HHE, even if Connecticut income tax was not withheld. If you are registered as a household employer, you are required to file electronically, although unregistered household employers must file a paper return and include a copy of the federal W-2 form as well. In the space on the paper form that asks for the Connecticut tax registration number, since you don't have one if you're not registered, please enter the words household employer. Household employers that are registered with DRS to withhold Connecticut income tax must file the form CT 941 HHE, which is a reconciliation of withholding for household employers. This is filed once for the calendar year by April 15th, even if no tax is due. Remember, if you are registered, only taxpayers that receive a waiver from the electronic filing requirements from DRS may file withholding forms by paper. DRS requires a state copy of federal forms 1099-R reporting distributions paid to Connecticut resident individuals even if no Connecticut income tax was withheld. For all other recipients, only if Connecticut income tax was withheld. Federal Form 1099 Miscellaneous is used for payments made to Connecticut residents as long as the payments relate to services performed wholly or partly in Connecticut, even if no income tax was withheld. Federal Form 1099 NEC is used to report non-employee compensation, again, only if the payments relate to services performed wholly or partly in Connecticut, even if no Connecticut income tax was withheld. Federal Form 1099-K is used to report payments like credit card payments to payees with locations in Connecticut. And use Federal Form W-2G for Connecticut lottery winnings paid to resident and non-resident individuals or other gambling winnings paid to Connecticut residents, even if no income tax was withheld. The CT 1099 and the W-2G forms, as well as the CT 1096 form, which is the annual summary and transmittal for information returns, are all due by January 31st. Remember to file the CT annual summary, a CT 1096 form, for each category. For example, one CT 1096 for all your CT 1099 miscellaneous forms, and another CT 1096 for all the CT 1099 NEC forms filed. Form 1099-K is due no later than 30 days after these forms are filed with the IRS. Form CT 1096 will be completed as part of the electronic filing process when you upload the state copy of the federal 1099 W-2G forms. So if the due date falls on a Saturday, Sunday, or legal holiday, you'll get some extra time. The return is considered on time if filed by the next business day. You should keep these Connecticut information returns for at least 4 years of the due date. Although if you're like me, I would probably keep them longer. If you file 25 or more 1099 or W-2G forms, you are required to file electronically, unless of course you requested and have been granted a waiver. Even if you file less than 25 of these forms, we still encourage you to file electronically, although you may file by paper without requesting a waiver. If your company has multiple locations or payroll systems using the same Connecticut tax registration number, you must combine the files to complete your electronic filing within MyConnect. DRS does not have an application or authorization procedure, and we do not assign submitter control codes. If you think you might be late in meeting the deadline to file, you should request an extension of time to file. Mail in Form CT 8809 no later than January 31st. This form cannot be filed electronically. If you are unable to file electronically due to a documented hardship, you may request a waiver by completing Form CT 8508 and mail it to DRS by January 1st. This form also cannot be filed electronically. If a waiver is granted, submit your returns to DRS on a CD. See Form CT 4804, which is the transmittal of information returns reported on a compact disc. Okay, Ida, would you like to take it from here?
Yes, thank you, Debbie. Now, there's a $50 penalty for late filing. So to avoid that, you should file on or before the due dates. Also, a penalty of $5 per form up to $2,000 per calendar year is imposed on payers who fail to file federal forms 1099-R, miscellaneous, NEC, K, or W-2G with DRS. Failure to file the state copy of federal form 1099-K with Connecticut would result in a civil penalty of $50 for the first month for each 1099-K that is not filed, plus $50 for each month or fraction thereof for which such failure continues. The total amount of penalty imposed will not exceed $250,000 per year. Now, these penalties may also be imposed on payers who fail to file electronically, but file using other media without first obtaining a waiver. Oftentimes, we have payers who submit information returns to DRS with incorrect information. But not to worry, this can be corrected by filing an amended return. For information return filed through MyConnect, you can only amend using the business or third-party bulk filer login. Please send only the corrected forms. Do not send the entire original file again. The corrected forms must be transmitted in a new file with a resub indicator. Forms 1099 and W-2 omitted from the original file must be submitted under a separate payee record as original return. Now, after uploading the corrected information return, you will be taken to Form CT 1096 as it was originally submitted. You will make the necessary corrections to the form, review, verify, and submit again. You will receive a new confirmation number at that point. Now we have two filing methods with MyConnect: the business employer login and the third-party bulk filer. Information return filers can file Forms 1099-R, miscellaneous, NEC, K, and W-2G with the associated Form CT 1096 electronically through MyConnect. Now, the MyConnect online system is a safe and secure way to conduct business with DRS. It is free and available to taxpayers 24/7. So you can file your returns, make payments using MyConnect any day of the week. Now, to file your withholding information using MyConnect, you will log into your MyConnect account and choose one of the filing options. Key and send, which is the manual way of entering your information, and bulk file upload. Now, with the bulk file upload, you can use the 1220 FIRE standardized file format or the CSV file layout. You can just choose the option that's best for you and follow the instructions that will be demonstrated later in the presentation. Please note that your Forms 1099 and W-2s are not successfully transmitted until MyConnect issues a confirmation number for Form CT 1096. You can visit the DRS website to view a sample layout. I will hand it over to you, Deb.
Thank you, Ida. For electronic employer bulk filers, one option is the 1220 FIRE standardized file format. This option allows you to upload a file that is formatted with this standardized file layout. Another option is the predefined comma-separated value, the CSV file layout. Using this option, you'll arrange the columns in the correct order and verify that the layout matches the DRS's predefined layout before uploading the file through MyConnect. As soon as you upload your file using either one of these options, it will be reviewed. If accepted, you'll receive a confirmation number right away. If the file fails, you'll immediately receive a list of the failed records with an explanation. Then simply correct the file and resubmit. There is no limit to the number of upload attempts. Tax preparers may save time preparing returns for multiple employers or for multiple locations for the same employer using one of the two options in MyConnect. When filing bulk filer forms 1099 or W-2G, choose either single client upload or multi-client upload. To start, upload your forms 1099 or W-2G. Step 2, upload your form CT 1096. Step 3, pat yourself on the back for a job well done. For more information about bulk filing, visit the DRS website. Connecticut does participate in the combined federal and state filing program. However, even if you participate in this program, you must also file Form 1099-R, NEC, and miscellaneous that have Connecticut withholding, and all Forms 1099-K with DRS through MyConnect no later than January 31st. The only forms filed through the combined federal and state filing program that will satisfy the DRS requirements are Forms 1099-R, NEC, and miscellaneous with no Connecticut withholding. Any corrections to these forms using this filing system should be replaced by uploading the correct forms. Please remember, if you are using a service to file your forms, you are the one responsible for the accuracy and timeliness of your returns. If something fails to meet requirements, you are liable for penalties imposed by DRS. Mr. Carter, would you like to take it from here?
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Debbie. Thank you to both of you. Ida and Debbie will be back later, but still to come is a tour of the Taxpayer Education Center, the Q&A. But first, let's get into My Connect. And for that, we have Randy Hariprasad. Now, Randy is a principal examiner in our electronic filing unit, and he is here to provide a demo. Good morning, Randy.
Good morning, Mr. Carter. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today. And today we will be talking about My Connect and how easy it is to file the W-2s and 1099s. My name is Randy Hariprasad, and I work here at the Connecticut Revenue Services, the electronic filing department. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So to get to My Connect, there are a few easy ways to get to My Connect. One of them, you just simply go to Google and just type in CTDRS Revenue Services, and this will bring you, just click on the link as you can see on my screen, Connecticut Revenue Services. Once you click on here, this will bring you to our department website, or you can just go to portal.ct.gov/DRS, and this will bring you into the DRS website as well, and you can click into My Connect. Under the most popular, you will see My Connect File, Pay, and Register Taxes Online. Once you click in this one, click on this hyperlink here, it will bring you to My Connect. So I'm going to go back into My Connect. So once you click on that link, it will bring you to this page, as you see on my screen here. All right, before we get into W-2s and 1099s, that you probably heard from my colleague all about W-2s and 1099s, I will show you now how easy and the different methods that we do have to file W-2s and 1099s and how to file those on My Connect. Before we log in, I do want to share a little bit about some additional resources that we do have on My Connect here. As you can see, there's a lot of information here, DRS publications, individual income taxes. We have a panel dedicated just for individual income taxes, file returns, extensions, look up where's my refund, 1099-G, few tax calculators, assistance of filing your income tax. Over here, if you're brand new and you need to register with the department, we do have the new business need a CT registration number hyperlink. Let me make that a little bigger. I think it's a little bit small. Okay, and you just click on the business need a CT registration number, and you're able to complete the registration online and receive your registration number instantly. You can make a bill payment. There's some returns and extensions that you can file for the businesses as well. If you're filing because we're talking about 1099s here, if you're filing the 1099 NEC, which is the non-employee compensation, or the 1099 miscellaneous, and the CT 1096, you do not need to log in with a username and password. You can just simply click on these hyperlink, and you should be able to have the different methods for keying in or just the upload of the 1099s. We also provide this panel, and once I logged in, I'll show you where you can locate this panel. This panel is available. So for example, if you're registered for sales and use tax, and you do need to report non-employee compensation of 1099s or 1099 miscellaneous, that panel will be available once you log in into My Connect. Over here, we have some tutorials. It's important, check it out. It's, very useful, like how to file certain returns, tax types, create a username. So I'm going to go ahead and log in here. I'm not going to show you how to create a username because many of you probably already know how to create a username. You just click on create a username, create your username and password. So I'm going to go ahead and enter my username here, and I'm going to enter my password. Okay, so I was able to log into My Connect. So this is how My Connect looks like. And over on the left side, you will see it says Randy bulk file. You have my address, my Connecticut registration number. Up on the right side, it says Welcome Randy H. There's a Manage My Profile. Like, let's say if you wanted to update your username or your security questions or the password or change your email or phone number, you can do so by clicking on the Manage My Profile hyperlink. Before I get into W-2s and 1099 filing, I do wanted to show a little bit about the different features that we do have. For example, the Action Center. The Action Center is a really great tool, keeps you up to date. Like if the department send you like any returns that's overdue or coming up for filing, you always can check it out in the Action Center. You will also get an email in your inbox, like a notification to log in and check out the Action Center for important information. We have the More tab. The More tab, any prior submissions, you can start submissions, manage payments and returns. We also have the taxpayer updates. So for example, for managing names and addresses, this can be done instantly on My Connect. You just click on the hyperlink, fill out the required information, submit, and these are updated instantly on My Connect. You can close your accounts, reopen your accounts, add and update officers, or you can add additional locations. For example, if you have sales tax, now you hired employees at your business, you can simply log in here and click add additional accounts and locations, and you're able to add your withholding account. You can correspond securely with the department by sending a message. You can view messages, view letters, or you can request a good status letter through My Connect. And then we have a little later in the presentation, I'll talk about bulk filing. And earlier, before I logged in, I said this 1099, the 1099 non-employee compensation, and or the 1099 miscellaneous. These links are available for you as well. And under the More tab, you click on the More tab, and you can locate the panel here that says File 1099 Miscellaneous. We have the penalty waiver and some other miscellaneouses. You can check them out, tax exempt certificate and power of attorneys and stuff like that. All right, now we are going to return back over to our summary screen, and we are going to locate the withholding because I'm going to file W-2s today. So I locate my withholding on the left side here. It says payroll withholding. And then to locate the W-2 filing for the hyperlink to start the filing, you will locate the view file returns and view period details, which is located on the right side here. And once I click into that, this should bring me into the return screen. And then I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to look for December 31st, 2024 and W-2/W-3 annual reconciliation of withholding. And then I am going to click on the File Now link. Once I click in the File Now link, you will see on my screen here, it says, do you have W-2 forms to enter? It's a yes or no. I'm going to go ahead and say yes. Would you like to upload W-2's data? And then how would you like to upload your W-2's data? So we do have the key and send. I'll show you a little bit about the key and send. So I just want to talk about the key and send. So there's no limit of entering of W-2s for the key and send or 1099s. You can enter as many. The good thing is that My Connect auto save your work. So once you're entering your W-2's information, My Connect will save the last W-2s that you enter in the system. For example, if you have a power outage or you walk away by, instead of saving your work, the system will auto save it. And then when you come back, it will prompt you to say, hey, Randy, you were entering W-2s. Just click on the W-2 if you'd like to continue your mission. We also have the save draft feature. So for example, if let's say you enter 10 W-2s or 20 W-2s, and let's say, oh, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to come back and enter more W-2s, then you can simply click on the save draft feature, and the save draft feature will save your W-2s for 30 business days in the system. And at the end of 30 days, let's say if you forget to come back in, you will get an email in your inbox saying, hey, Randy, you started to file W-2s. If you would like to continue, you can go back in. If not, the system will automatically delete it from from your transaction history. So I'm going to go ahead and say continue editing instead of finishing later. And yes, I have W-2s to enter. I will click on key and send. And then I'm going to go ahead and click next. And it's very simple, very easy. All I do is just click add a record. And this will pop up the W-2 screens for you for all the different fields. I'm going to go ahead and enter my social, enter my first and last name here. Everything looks good. I don't have any federal information to enter, but you can, if you do, you enter those. Then I have the Connecticut wages, and I also have the Connecticut income tax withheld. So now I enter that information. I simply click add. So I just intentionally left that field. So anything that you do in My Connect, let's say if you missed a field and it's a required field for you to enter information, you will get a pop-up message just like you see on my screen, tell that there's errors exist. If you would like to continue, yes, but it's still not going to let you continue because you have to complete that transaction. So for this example here, needs my state. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick one of those states, and then I'm just going to click add. And now my that one W-2 is added. So let's say if you wanted to add more W-2s, you'll just simply click on the add record. If you would like to edit the W-2, there's a little pencil icon here. You can click on, it says edit row, and then you can make any changes to that W-2 and save it again. Or if you wanted to delete a W-2, you simply click on the X and you're able to delete that W-2. So for this demo purposes, I'm just going to enter one W-2 and I'm going to go next, which will take me to the CTW3 page. That's the reconciliation, the annual reconciliation of withholding. So now I enter all my W-2s. Now I'm brought to the CTW3. And as you can see, you know, we display it here for you, line 1, 2, and 3. It says Connecticut tax withheld, warm wages, and the total Connecticut wages reported, a number of W-2s 1. And this is the important part for your quarterly breakout. So you have period 1, 2, 3, and 4, and these are all based on the CT 941 that you reported within the year. So this needs to be plus or minus $5. If you're not able to reconcile within plus or minus $5, then there's a problem with your W-2s, and then that's when we recommend you to go back and look at your W-2s to make sure the figures are correct or you enter it correctly in the system so you can reconcile your CTW3. So I'm going to go ahead for quarter 1. I had $7,000 in here. Quarter 2, 444. Quarter 3 and 4, I don't have any employees, so everything looks good. So it's plus and minus $5. My red messages went away, and now I can go ahead and click next. And now I'm on my declaration of taxpayer signature page. I'm just simply enter my name, and the date is already pre-filled for me, and I'm going to go ahead and click submit. And as you can see on my screen, I receive a confirmation number saying your W-3 is submitted, and also a printable view, which is a PDF format. You can print this for your record. I'm going to go ahead and close this, and then I'm going to click OK and return back to the return screen. So let's say if that PDF copy, for some reason you just missed it, or you didn't print it, but you wanted a copy later on. Don't worry, I'll show you how to get a copy. Just click on the More tab, click on Start Submission, and under right now it's pending because it didn't process over yet to our backend system. You can see the CTW3 annual reconciliation. Once you drill into that link, you will be able to print that CTW3 again. Okay, so that's for the W-2s. So let me show you about amending the W-2. So I'm going to go ahead and return to my summary screen, locate my withholding panel again, click on the view file returns and view period details. So let's say if I wanted to amend an older year, for some reason I just the W-2s for one of my employees, the social is incorrect or the name needs to change or something like that. So what I need to do is just locate for 2023, right here for the period. Then I go ahead and I locate my, so for example, I'm looking for one here, right here. And then the link here that says view or amend return, I click on that. And then I click on the amended. And how you know you're in the actually that's an older period, so let's see, let me try to find a new period. Okay, so once you make any changes to the amended W-2s and then you click submit, so just follow the step and then you're able to submit with the confirmation number at the end. That's how you amend your W-2s. I showed you how to key and send, but I wanted to talk a little bit about other option where you can upload your file. So I'm going to go ahead and locate the File Now link again. And do you have W-2s to enter? I'm going to say yes. Now I'm not going to say key and send. I'm going to say bulk upload. So the standard. So we have the CSV file. The CSV file is a comma separated value. That's what the file extension. It's an extension of an Excel document. DRS provide you with a template. I'll show you how to get the template to file the CSV file. Let's talk about the standardized file layout. The standardized file layout is the EFW2. You probably heard about the name EFW2. So that's from the Social Security Administration. So the same file that you get from the Social Security Administration, you can use that file and you can submit to Connecticut Revenue Services, which is the text file. We call it the standardized file layout. It's the same file name EFW2 from the Social Security Administration. So once I select that, I'll go next, and then that will bring me to choose my file. I'm not going to enter like the example I showed you before. This is when I click on the choose file. Then you choose your file where you have that file saved on your computer, and then you go next, and everything looks good. If there's any error, the system will, explain the different errors for you, and then you go next, and then you'll get a confirmation number which complete the filing of the CTW3. I'm just going to return back over to my previous screen here, and now I'm going to click on the CSV file, and it's the same process. You click on the CSV file, click next. We're able to locate your file by choosing your file, but I do wanted to show you the template available for you to use for the CSV comma separated value file. For more information on these options, click here. There's a link here, and I'll show you how to get that from the Connecticut Revenue Services webpage as well. So if I click here, this will bring me over to the Connecticut Revenue Services webpage where we have all this information for you. Electronic filing of W-2 wage and non-wage 1099 information. If I scroll down to the bottom of the page, you will see the W-2s, the 1099s. We do have the all the different specifications here. And for that template to file the Excel upload would be W-2s and will be spreadsheet solutions. So if I drill into the spreadsheet solution of the W-2s, I do want it to open that so I can show you what it looks like. So this is how the template looks like. So when you open up the template, you will enter all the necessary information, the social security number, first name, last name, address, and if I scroll over, it will ask you for the Connecticut wages, Connecticut tax withheld, and then when you're done, there's a create uploadable CSV button here for you, and then if you click on that, that will create your CSV file, and that's the file that you will use to upload. So I'm going to minimize that. And I'm going to return back over to my Connect. All right, so for filing of the W-2s, you can see that you can key it in. There's no limit of keying the W-2s. We also have the bulk file option where you can just upload your file. So we have the standardized file layout. And again, this layout, this is the text file. This is the same file that you get from the Social Security Administration. You can also, there's some software out there that will generate your text file for you. And we also have the CSV file, which is the template I showed you. You can use that template, enter your W-2 information. Once you create your CSV file extension, you can just upload that into the system. Okay, so now we are going to switch gear and we're going to talk about the 1099s filing. So I'm going to return here back to my summary screen. And this example, my company is registered for payroll and non-payroll. So I'm going to locate the non-payroll panel. And as you can see, it says withholding non-payroll here. If I scroll over to the right, I have the view file returns and view period details. Again, this is very important to remember where to locate the W-2s and 1099 filing. You simply click on the view file returns and view period details. Once I click into that, it will bring me back to the return screen again. And I'm going to go ahead and locate the December 2024 1099s, which is right here, December 2024. So I don't have a December 2024, but I have a December 2025. So I'm just going to show you that example. Okay, so here is my hyperlink. Once I click File now, the screen is a little bit different for the 1099s. And as you can see here, it's the non-payroll tax forms. So for the 1099s, as you know, many of you probably know, we have the 1099 miscellaneous, rent, royalties, and stuff like that. We also have the 1099 NEC, which is the non-employee compensation. We also have the 1099R, which is the pension wages, the W2G. The W2G is the gambling winnings. And then we have the 1099K, which is the credit card filing. All these forms are listed here for the 1099. So if I go ahead and I says, yes, I do have 1099s to enter. If I select the key and send option and I click next, once I click next, it will say select your 1099 forms. I have all the different forms here to select from. So then I can just choose which one I wanted to select, which one I wanted to file. So for example, the 1099 miscellaneous, if I choose that, then I click next, I'm able to add a record. I'm not going to go through with this because you already have the feeling with the W-2s how to add a record. For the 1099 miscellaneous, you click add a record and you just add your record as many as you can, want it in there. And then you click next and it brings you to CT 1096 and you will get your confirmation at the end. So let me return back to the previous screen. And we're going to talk a little bit about the bulk file. So now I don't want to do key and send. I'm going to switch here and I'm going to click on bulk file. Again, the bulk file, the CSV file, we do have a template out there to assist you. So you can open up the template and I'll show you at the end how to get the template directly from the DRS website. But if you do need to let's say if you're in here and you need that template, you can simply click here, which will bring you to that page. It will bring you right here again. If I scroll down, you will see the 1099, all the different 1099s, and we do have the spreadsheet solutions available for you to use. So the bulk file, so the standardized file layout. So we also have the text file upload. Now, this is not the Social Security Administration. The W-2 was the Social Security Administration. That's their file layout, the text file that you can use for W-2s. But this is the 12, you probably heard about the 1220 FIRE format. This is the format for the Internal Revenue Services. This is the same file that you submit to the Internal Revenue Services. You can take that same file and you submit it to Connecticut Revenue Services by using the standardized file layout. Just to be a little clearer, W-2s filed with the standardized file layout for Connecticut Revenue Services will be the EFW2 for the Social Security Administration. For the 1099s, standardized file layout for Connecticut Revenue Services will be the same file that you send to the Internal Revenue Services, which is the 1220 FIRE format text file. And again, these are all generated by software out there. So I'm not sure how you obtain your file, but you can use the same file that you send to IRS and you submit it to DRS. And again, if I select that option, I click next, and then I pick which file I wanted to upload. I can do the miscellaneous, non-employee compensation, or the R. I click next, and then it brings me to choose my file on my computer, and then click next, and then you will able to complete the CT 1096, just like the CTW3 we talked about earlier. All right, so I am going to cancel out of this. And we're going to talk a little bit about bulk filing, because many of you probably bulk filers are in here, and you probably want to know, like, how do I submit for many companies? So I'll show you how easy that is. So I return back over to my summary screen. So if you wanted to be a bulk filer, so the bulk filer will have the option of submitting many companies. So like, let's say if I have Randy A, Randy B, or Randy C, I have 3 companies in one file, and I wanted to bulk upload those W-2s or 1099s, you're not going to use this option, like scroll down here and click on the view file returns and select that. You have to be registered as a bulk filer. And to register as a bulk filer, that's on the My Connect. You click on create username, and you will see an option there that says bulk filer, but I'll show you a little bit after we log out from here how to register as a bulk filer. But once you register as a bulk filer, you will have the option, you will have this link here that says Account Center. You will click on the Account Center, and this will bring you to a few different panels in here, but you will locate the bulk filing, view bulk filer menu. Once you click on the view bulk filer menu, you will have a few different panels. You will have access to all the different uploads, for example, sales and use tax, attorney occupational return upload. So this is good. So once you register as a bulk filer, you have options to bulk upload many of the tax types for different clients of yours. You can do the 8109, or you can do payroll payments weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. And now I'm going to go ahead and locate the W-2s, because we're talking about W-2s and 1099s. So if you're still filing the single client, you still have the option of filing the single client. Let's say if you have one company in one file and you wanted to upload that file, you will choose the single client W-2. That's if you register as a bulk filer. You can do so as well. But if you have a file with multiple companies in there, you will select the multi-client W-2 upload. Now, this process is a little bit different because you have 2 steps. You have step 1, where you just upload the multi-client W-2 or the 1099s, because we're talking about both of them. I'll just explain both of them at the same time. We have step 1 for the W-2s, step 2 for the multi-client 1099s. So once you upload your W-2s or 1099s for step 1, then at the end of the transaction, you have to return back and you have to click on bulk CTW3 upload step 2. And we do have a template again for the W3, and I'll show you at the end how to access all those templates if you need to. Once you upload your CTW3 and you get a confirmation, that complete the process of the multi-client upload, either the W2s or the 1099s. That goes for the same thing for the 1096. The option here, bulk CT 1096 upload step 2. You can do so by clicking on step 2 here. So let me just restate that again. If you're doing the single client upload, you can log in as your regular company and locate those withholding panels, and then you can upload your W-2s or 1099s. If you're a bulk filer and you're filing for many companies, you register as a bulk filer. Once you get into the system, you click on the bulk filer menu, and then you're able to locate the panel here where it says multi-client W-2 upload step 1, or if you're filing 1099s, multi-client 1099 upload step 1. And then you can upload your W-2s or 1099s, and then there's a second step to complete the process, which is the CTW3 upload step 2, or the bulk CT 1096 upload step 2. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and log out from my Connect because I do wanted to show you how to register for. So if I click on create a username and I click next here, if you want it to be a bulk filer, you will click on the third-party bulk filer here, and then you will register as a bulk filer. Instantly, you can able to create your username and password, and you will have access to all those bulk uploads for your clients. So for example, not only W-2s and 1099s, if you wanted to do sales tax, attorney occupational upload, knowing that the attorney occupational return is due on January 15th. You can also do payroll payments, 1120 extensions, 1065 extension. There's a whole lot of uploads you can do for your clients after registering as a bulk filer. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you how to get to those templates. So let's say if I'm on the Department of Revenue Services webpage, type in portal.ct.gov/DRS, or you can just go to Google and just type in CT Department of Revenue Services. It will bring you to this page. On the left side here under featured items, you will click on the featured items, and then under featured items, number 9, it will say file W-2s and 1099s online. I'll make that a little bigger because this is very important to get all your templates and all the information for W-2s and 1099s. So under featured items, number 9, file W-2s and if you scroll down to the page, you will see the specifications for the standardized file text file for the EFW2 and the 1225 format. Also the CSV, which is the comma separated value spreadsheet. We do have spreadsheet solutions. These are templates that you can use. Once you enter all your information and create the uploadable CSV, you should be able to upload your spreadsheet with no issue. For the CTW3 and 1096, that's for the multi-client users, and that's for the bulk filer multi-client step 2. These are the spreadsheet solutions you can locate here. Open these up, and then enter the information, save them, and then upload your data. I believe that's all I have. So today we talk about the different methods of W-2s and 1099s. We have the panel available for you if you're not registered. Don't worry if you wanted to file a 1099 miscellaneous or the 1099 non-employee compensation. That information is available for you, and I'll show you again. This panel is available for you before you log in, so you can click on these links. Once you click on these links, the screen will look the same as you log in. You will have the option for key and send. You'll have the option for bulk upload, either the 1220 format or the spreadsheet solution upload. You will also see this panel once you log in with your username and password. We also talk about the key and send method. There's no limit. The system is auto-saving your work. So there's no worry on that. If you lose your work, it will save the last W-2s that you entered in the system or 1099 you entered in the system. You go back and you should be able to retrieve those. All right. I hope that the process is smooth for you for your filing year. And thank you all for listening to me. And back to you, Mr. Carter, and have a good day.
Very good. Well done, Randy. Well done indeed. Get some water, man. After all that talking, you're going to need some, right? Still to come, folks, is the Q&A. But first, I'm going to provide a very brief, and I assure you, very brief tour of the DRS Taxpayer Education Center, which is actually found halfway down on the DRS homepage, which is located at portal.ct.gov/DRS. Now, the Taxpayer Education Center was actually created through the lens of a Connecticut taxpayer, and it provides informational videos and other educational resources like registration for any upcoming webinars, new business flyers for sales and use tax, My Connect info, and several other matters. And then we have 2 video series out there as well. One is for Connecticut residents filing and paying Connecticut income tax, and the second series is for part year and non-residents filing and paying Connecticut income tax. Then we have videos that are specific to navigating our website. And at the very bottom, you can find any previously recorded webinars, including in about a week's time, this very one. So if you missed something, you can go back and look at it again to get some clarity. Videos are added regularly, updated all the time, and they provide a quick and easy walkthrough of the topic being presented. Okay, like I said, brief tour, there you go. All right, so now let's get on to the aforementioned Q&A. These are the most frequently asked questions we've received about W-2s and 1099s via phone calls, emails, and through My Connected. For that, let's queue up Ida and Debbie. We can bring them back into the conversation. I see Ida. There we go. Excellent. Welcome back, ladies. Are we ready?
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
All right. All systems are go then. All right. So first question is up. I believe Ida has got the first one, if I'm not mistaken. Are there any technical changes in the specifications for the 2024 taxable year?
Well, good news, Mr. Carter. For 2024 taxable year, there are no changes to the specifications.
Excellent. That's good news. Question number 2. Debbie, you're on the clock. Are DRS electronic filing specifications the same as the federal specifications?
As far as state totals, Connecticut has no K record requirement. If you send it, no worries, it will be ignored. Sort of like when I call my cat and she just ignores me. Although the Connecticut tax registration number, if any, is required. Fields not required by the DRS are indicated by NA.
Very good. Yep. Cats, I hear you. It's love on their terms. All right. Next question. What paper forms should accompany the electronic file?
There should be no paper forms to accompany the electronic filing. If there are any attachments that cannot be filed with the electronic filing, it should be kept with your records and provided to DRS if requested.
Fantastic. Next up, is there a penalty for failure to file federal form 1099-K?
Yes, for the first month, there is a $50 civil penalty for failure to file each state copy, plus $50 for each month or partial month that goes by that you still have not filed. Although the total amount of penalty will not exceed $250,000 per year.
All right, very good. Next up, will failure to file information returns electronically result in the assessment of penalties?
Yes, there will be penalties assessed for failure to file electronically unless the payer was granted a waiver to paper file.
All right, we're going right through these. Number 6, how does a payer report changes to an electronically filed submission?
DRS now accepts corrected and supplemental filings to be filed electronically through My Connect. These filings can only be done using the third-party bulk filer login. Be careful because if you use the file import option, this will result in a rejection code for duplicate filings.
Good to know. Thank you. Okay, number 7, how can a payer submit data when there is a requirement for the data to be protected? Good question.
Well, our MyConnect system is a safe and secure way to conduct business with DRS. The connection created during a filer session with MyConnect encrypts all information from the filer until it's delivered to DRS. So be at ease, your information will be transferred to the agency securely.
All right. Now, believe it or not, this is the last question. I'm holding the last question in my hands. And for that, I turn it over to Melissa.
Wow, it's my pleasure to ask the last question. Ladies, are you ready for the last question of the webinar?
Yes.
Ready?
And here we go. How does DRS form CT 1096, that's the annual reconciliation form, how does that get filed?
It will be automatically populated for you on My Connect once forms 1099 and/or W-2G have been successfully uploaded. You must verify all the figures and complete the quarterly breakouts. For third-party bulk filers, first upload all forms 1099 or W-2G. Once they are uploaded, you will then need to upload the form CT 1096 to complete the process.
Very good, Debbie. Thank you so much, ladies, for your help today with the presentation. Very well done.
Well done indeed. And I told you that question wasn't going to be hard to ask. You did a great job.
Thank
Way to
you so
go for
much.
filling in. Well, this concludes our presentation today, folks. Thank you for joining us and making us part of your day. If you have any questions in the future, whether it's today, tomorrow, next week, next month, or next year, please, by all means, give us a call or email us. Our phone numbers are 860-297-5962. You can also reach us at 1-800-382-9463. You can also zap us with an email if you have a question. Our email address is drs@ct.gov. And if you happen to be familiar with MyConnect, or maybe you want to take it out for a test drive, you can always contact us that way as well. Let's also give some love to our website, which is located at portal.ct.gov/ and say it along with me at home, DRS. Now, the website has a plethora of information, such as our new Business Resource Center, where you can access helpful resources for new businesses. But it also has policy statements, special notices, rulings, information publications, legislative updates. It also has our new newsletter, Tax Topics, and it has updates about upcoming webinars, including one on, I believe, January 15th at 10 o'clock. Yep, on this very topic. So if there's something you missed or you want a little refresher, we're going to have another one on W-2s and 1099s on January 15th, and first pitch, I believe, is 10 a.m. You can also check us out on social media. We are out on Facebook, X, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. So on behalf of my fellow presenters, including Melissa Pescatelli, thank you so much for joining us here today. We hope to see you at the next webinar.
Thank you, everybody. Happy holidays.